So keep on listening at 7:18. Let's go back to the CNMI, and I wanted to get Tomas back on to kind of talk about this. You were finally able to get CNMI Gov Ralph Torres.
Yes, and so actually there's some new controversy developing this morning with that visit because, as I mentioned, Kevin Bautista, the press secretary, gave us the letter to the president and speaker of the legislature inviting inviting all the members of the legislature, but minority members and some leadership members are posting on Facebook that that's incorrect. They never got an invitation. I spoke with the one representative, a minority member, Sheila Babata, who showed up, and she said she was just, crashing the party because she didn't get that invitation either, but heard of it through the media. And so that's one thing, but talking about access with the media, with Governor Torres, so we were actually, because it was just the media there, we're able to ride on one of the CODA Commonwealth Office of Transit Authority buses that is sanitized from right down the street of Canoa Resort, going back to the alternate care site at Canoa Resort. And during that bus ride, I got a chance to sit next to him, the governor, and ask him a few questions about the increasing cases we're getting, whether or not his view on the airport, flights resuming, and other things like that. And then he was there for the 1-hour tour that we were given, and he also took questions live in the end. I asked him about costs. We played that little clip there saying that you can't put a price on health. He said it's in the millions, so wasn't really giving us any certain number. But like I said, KKMP Radio seems to be organizing its own press conference and inviting the media. So it's not something officially run of the CNMI governor's office, is my understanding. But
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I was chatting, and they said, "Oh, it's like the KUM radio show." Like the radio show. This isn't a press conference.
Yeah.
And so I think that it is very interesting because it's not a formal invitation from the governor's office for the press conference. It's an invitation from a media partner to join their own
interview. To join their interview. Basically.
Yeah, their own interviews, and that's at 8. I didn't receive. I got the link, but and I'll be joining that. I'm not sure what the format is, so it's a bit confusing right now. But it's slated for every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I believe, or at least 3 times a week.
Over this radio show?
The local radio show, yeah, and they said that in the invitation, the radio show said that the governor's been doing his daily briefings there, which is a little news to me. I didn't know that was the daily briefings, but apparently they've been doing that since March, the daily briefings on that show.
Tomas, how was it to finally get Governor Ralph Torres? Your voice seemed a little bit shaky in the interview. I know this is something you've been wanting to do. Just walk us back to...
Yeah, savage move, by the way, to get right in front of him, right next to him on the bus.
I mean, you did what you had to do.
Well, when I see an open seat, I just got to sit in it. And my mind was racing. When we thought that we were having that one-on-one interview last week, Adriana, Brie, and I, we got together and we drafted questions. So I had like 20 questions already that was drafted and sourced, and so at that point, I was just trying to, obviously we were there for the alternate care site, and so I wanted to focus on that and the new cases and the airlines. And we have a story tonight on 2 small businesses that are struggling here in the CNMI. But
Tomas, I'm gonna put up this pic that the governor posted on his Facebook page. If you guys want to check this out, where is it? Right there. What a interesting bit of eye contact there you were making with the governor of the CNMI, Tomas.
Yeah, and when I sat next to him, he said, "Oh, you're here? We would have done an interview earlier if I knew you were here." And to me that was a little surprising. But when I first got on island, I did message the press secretary saying I'm here on behalf of KUAM, and let's get as much as we can out. And so we're hoping, the governor said, to coordinate with him, with the press secretary for an interview tomorrow.
Nice. Tomas, I got to ask, who looked away first, you or the CNMI Gov?
Oh, my goodness. Chris, I don't know. I was just, you can see kind of my Jason-inspired gear there.
Yeah. It kind of looks like you're like, Luta versus Saipan, let's go about right now.
No, that wasn't in my head at all.
Right now, Luta versus Saipan.
What was in my head was just trying to, think of which 20 questions to ask, because we've had so many questions.
I hate that when you're like, God, which question should I ask?
Yeah, and so we have a lot more questions. We'll see if we can ask more of them at 8. Again, the logistics for the 8 a.m. briefing, I guess is what they're calling it, is unclear. The invitation I got wasn't necessarily directly from the radio show, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, sharing that on tomorrow's show. But we got lots of new information that we'll cut up, and I think in total we spoke to him for about 15 minutes of just him speaking and answering questions.
Where did the link come from? Was it from the governor's office?
The link was sent to me by the press secretary. So
okay, so then he would be able to control if whether or not you would be able to ask a question.
Again, the format's unclear. I don't know if they're monitoring it. This is not something done out, on the governor's platform. It's done on the local radio show. So we'll see how that goes. That's in about.
Oh no! But if it's over Zoom, then they have control over the audio, what's going over, and whether or not.
And again, this is their show, so I would assume they have all the control. So. Yeah.
And that's not a press conference. That's just a show. It's like somebody else's show.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. I heard about it meeting the other reporters from the other outlets here, saying that they were invited on to participate. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully you get in some questions.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely appreciate the hard work you're doing over there in the CNMI, Tomas.
Yes.
Yeah, and and just gonna just tease a story for tonight. We spoke to Philip Canuto, who's a flower shop owner, and he had he caters and sets up events for weddings. He had 6 weddings canceled this season, and then we spoke with Rob Travilla, who runs Tribe Mariana's Clothing, and all of his stuff has moved online. So we really wanted to bring these local business stories to the news, and it was just I was speaking with some of the business owners. They said what business looked like for them in March was basically zero, nothing. So I think it was interesting to kind of hear of all the good news happening, and then going out into the streets and the community and listening to them. And they're on the brink of collapse basically, and so it's a hard story, but definitely want to share their perspective as local businesses trying to survive in the CNMI. The owner of that shop has been here for 28 years working in that business. So.
Tomas, with the Guam resident who traveled to CNMI, pop positive, has that changed maybe how stringent they're looking at the flights coming in? Is this something?
Yeah, so I did ask that again. They reiterated that the FAA really is the only one with authority, but they're going to continue with their quarantine protocol, and that also includes testing passengers upon arrival. We've been trying to ask about whether or not what the involvement with Guam DPHHS looks like. I know you guys asked Dr. Manglona yesterday, and we still don't have a clear response about what contact tracing looks like in Guam, because that positive case is from there. But we did outline what it looks like here, and all the passengers on board were tested, and then United, of course, came out with that statement saying they removed the aircraft for deep cabin sanitization. So hopefully we get an answer on what contact tracing looks like for Guam residents, too, with that positive case that arrived here.
Well, we were able to talk to Dr. Manglona from Public Health yesterday, and she said that process has already begun.
But she didn't really have any details.
She didn't have any details on it,
Yeah.
All right, Tomas, thank you so much for checking in, and congrats on getting the CNMI Gov. And, it's like after the first time, I think it's going to be easy from here on out.
Yes, well, he did say that he's willing to do a one-on-one interview tomorrow, so hopefully we get that scheduled.
Nice, all right. Let me know if you need, how many questions you got?
No, he's got a lot.
He's got a lot.
I have like a whole 10 pages ready.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, Tomas, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
All right, Tomas Manglona, of course, in the CNMI. He's actually on Saipan. Yes, he's been on Saipan.
Yes. So, CNMI bureau chief.
Yeah. He's the only guy. Yeah. Hey, let's say good morning to Jason Solis. Good morning, Jay.